You used a phrase earlier in the midst of this. If we have a democracy 10 years from now, do you think we won't?
I think there's a very real risk that we will not. I think what we risk is having a government that perhaps postures as a democracy and may try to pretend that it is, but is.
So that was Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just a couple of months ago. This is before the shootings that lead to no real gun reform. This is before the Supreme Court decided, damn what we said when we were getting confirmed, damn what the people think, your rights are gone. And she was saying that democracy is very much at risk. And she is not the only person that believes that. A poll just came out earlier today, Yahoo News YouGov poll. 55% of Democrats, 53% of Republicans believe it is likely the United States will cease to be a democracy in the future. Which, look, I would arguably say is an optimistic way to present what's happening right now. The idea that what we're discussing is something that might happen in the future. Democracy is not a 1 or a 0. This is not a binary thing. It exists on a spectrum. And we can be very worried about where it is at right now, where it was at 5 or 10 years ago, let alone 5 or 10 years in the future. But that doesn't mean that it can't get worse. In that same poll among Republicans, 52% believe it is likely that there will be a civil war in the US in their lifetime. 46% of Democrats, 50% of independents believe that same thing. Virtually everyone agrees that democracy is at risk and that political violence might come. Some of them willing to engage it themselves. 26% say those who participate in political violence could sometimes be justified. And we've seen that in past polls too. There's always gonna be that 1/4 of the country, Francesca, that believes that this might come to violence. And honestly, would that be the worst thing, they would say?
I lay this at the feet of Fox News and the propagandists who are making a living off of political violence. I truly do. And I think it is sad that a lot of people feel this way. For sure, I've had those moments of doubt and thinking the absolute same thing. I think you're seeing a failure of political leadership. I think that the fact that more Democrats are agreeing with the fact that there's not gonna be a democracy shows you that they have no faith that the Democrats are actually going to do anything to drastically address this kind of political violence and actually help people in order to sort of almost like distract them with the good things that they're doing in their lives, right? Distract them from the idea that they need to go after women and immigrants and Black people and actually have like a real plan to improve everyone's life. So, but more than that, I think we need to make sure that we understand this is not just the coming like civil war democracy. It is a war of the rich against the working class. And as long as we can keep our eyes and focus on that, I think that will very much help.
Yeah, and the issue is that one of the tools, the weapons of that class is a weaponized conservative, like poor and working class movement that should be concerned about why they're being abused by these people. But instead they're drawn into this war, believing that the biggest threat to themselves is drag queen story hour and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so that's how you end up in this situation.